G'day cocktail lovers, time to think about St. Patrick's Day. That's what I think anyway. And I'm going to make a couple of St. Patrick's Day themed cocktails for you. For me, for something to be St. Patrick's Day themed, it's got to hinge around two things. It's either got to have Irish whiskey or maybe Peychaud as a feature. Peychaud, if you're unfamiliar with it, is essentially the new make Irish whiskey. It's the unaged clear spirit that becomes Irish whiskey. It's Irish moonshine essentially. I don't have any at the moment, so I'll be going with Irish whiskey. The other thing that makes something St. Patrick's Day themed to me is if it's green. You know, you could be Chicago and turn a river green, or you could just put some green elements in a drink. Whether that's with a green liqueur or green food colouring is up to you. I'm going to be doing a little of both in this selection. This St. Patrick's Day cocktail is essentially an Irish Manhattan, and it's named after a town in Ireland, Tipperary. Instead of the American whiskey you'd usually use in a Manhattan, it's using Irish whiskey. It's also got a touch of the green Chartreuse that is. I'll give it a little taste to see how different it is from a standard Manhattan. And it's definitely its own thing. That is really tasty. Here's how we make it. In a mixing glass, put 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of Irish whiskey, then 1 ounce or 30 mils of sweet vermouth. Add to that 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of green Chartreuse. Round things out with 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. Then strain that into a chilled Nick and Nora glass, and for garnish I'm doing a twist of orange peel and a maraschino cherry on a skewer. It looks like a Manhattan, but the Irish whiskey has a different character, and that Chartreuse is a really noticeably different element, even though there's a relatively small amount in here. This is a really good experiment. If you like a Manhattan, I think you'll like a Tipperary. St. Patrick's Day cocktail number 2. This St. Patrick's Day cocktail, beautiful emerald colour for the Emerald Isle, and it is based around Irish whiskey as well. 2 for 1 in St. Patrick's Day themes for me. I've got to try it because the colour's amazing. I need to taste it. Legit better than I thought it would be. This has all the green liqueurs in it, and I thought it was mainly a novelty one, might not be a great drink, but it's not bad at all. Here's how we make it. In a shaker, put 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of Irish whiskey, then 10 mils, 1/3 ounce of green Chartreuse. Follow that with the same 10 mils, 1/3 ounce of green creme de menthe, and then 10 mils, 1/3 ounce of melon liqueur like Midori. Then add just 1 dash of absinthe. Follow that with 10 mils, 1/3 ounce of lime juice, and finally 10 mils or 1/3 ounce of sugar syrup. Add ice to the shaker, shake that good and hard for 10 or 15 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and then strain that into a chilled coupe. And for garnish, I'm using a single mint leaf, though you could use a shamrock if you have one. I'm not sure what a shamrock would add to the cocktail. The mint leaf goes really well with the creme de menthe. It's a great looking drink, great for celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and it actually tastes pretty good too. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Alrighty, it's time to round out these St. Patrick's Day cocktails, and we're going to finish things up with some good Craic. For those who are unfamiliar with the term, Craic, C-R-A-I-C, is an Irish word that means fun, essentially. So when you have a good Craic, it's a good time. I modelled this on a cocktail called a good cork. This is essentially an old-fashioned variation, which is one of my favourite templates to play with. I adjusted the cocktail I found to something that I thought was more to my taste, and so I got to rename it from good cork to good Craic. And I need to taste it now to see if my idea for changing it was good. Oh, that comes together so well. The old-fashioned template is so much fun to play with. You've got to try this. Here's how we make it. In a mixing glass, we put 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of Irish whiskey. Then we add 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of mezcal. Then we add 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of Dom Benedictine. Then just a bar spoon, around 5 mils of a brown sugar syrup, and rounding things out with 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters. This is like Ireland meets New Orleans. It's a fantastic mix of flavours. Really do recommend you try. And in fact, try any of these. I really enjoyed all of them, and I would recommend them to anyone. Just remember, do it in moderation. We don't want to get completely wasted, even though that's what far too many people do on St. Patrick's Day. Drink quality rather than quantity. And these were all quality drinks in my book. I'd recommend each and every one of them. And I recommend you come back and see some more cocktails another time. And take care until you come back. But until I see you again, I'll say, Slàinte!